Hi everybody, it's Nick McDonald here. Welcome to this week's ICE commentary for the dollar index and currency markets. Let's have a look at where we were last week. So if we just come back and first looking at the daily chart. So we're back in here last week. We had a nice update on the first day of the week on Monday. Then we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pretty much all down. So a few indecisive days there. Then we came down and we actually closed significantly lower on Friday, really just breaking out of that range that we'd been in for over a week by the time we got out of it. So we hugged 77 and we hugged it really, really well. That was a key level we'd identified as a potential trading opportunity. It was also a level I liked for a swing trade, and I'll show you some of the entries I took into that trade soon. But we'd had this nice run up on the weekly. This was a nice pullback into 50% plus 7,700 old support. It was a really nice entry point for some trades, and I did have some trades there. Now we've broken down, and actually I was faced with a funny situation last week whereby I thought the US dollar would go down, but the technicals told me to be long the US dollar. And I did a video on that for my clients and showed them some trades I took and said, look, this looks to me like it feels to me like it should be going lower because I think the situation in Europe is about to get better. That's a slightly speculation. It's just how it feels for me. It looks like stocks should be heading up. And if that happens, if Europe gets better, if stocks head up, then the dollar index is likely to go down. However, I'd identified 77 as a strong level, and I took a trade off 77, and I actually made some money at 77, and I'll show you the type of trades I was taking there in a moment. However, now I'm looking at this, and my view has changed from last week to this week. Now that we've broken down through 77, my view has certainly started to change, and also if you go and look at the Russell video, then you'll see that my view on stocks is very bullish, and therefore my view here on the dollar is quite bearish for the time being. So let's have a look at why. So we've broken down out of that range. We should have, 77 was such strong support that if we had a bullish dollar, we should have broken up from there. And we tried to for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days before finally failing on the 7th day. Let's have a look at this on a weekly chart and look at what this means. So that was such strong support through there. Look at the touches all the way back into 2009, again here in 2010. All through here at 2011, we've been finding support and resistance there. Even once breaking up, we'd come back and found support there. We came down and we really, really tried, and we've now failed to hold it. It was also a 50% pullback. Note that we're now just right at the 61.8% pullback for a fib level. The next level as far as support and resistance goes is 7,600, so down here. It's got a little bit of a way to go. The problem I've got if it gets to 76 is pulled back quite a bit beyond the 61.8, and now it's starting to look like coming down and testing 74. Now 74 is major support. It's quite some way away now, but it is major support if we get there. Do I think we'll get there this week? No, but I do think the US dollar is likely to fall, and I think it's probably going to get down through 76, and certainly 76 I don't think is going to add anywhere near as much support as what 77 did. So 77 we've seen on the daily just gave so much support there. I don't think 76 will offer as much support. It is a fairly strong level, but even just coming and looking at the number of really precise touches here on a daily chart, there's nowhere near as many precise touches on this line of 76 as there is up here on 77. So 77 was very precise, very strong. It also clustered with a Fibonacci level. You'll see that 76 doesn't cluster with any fib levels. It's not as strong. I don't think it will offer as much support, and it's for these reasons now that I think, especially with that really bearish looking weekly candle as well, I am now thinking that the US dollar is heading lower. So, and then if we come and actually look at this on a monthly chart, now we've actually just had a move down. We've had a pullback. We usually would pull back 50 to 62%. That's a sign of a good, healthy pullback, but actually it's a sign of real weakness when we don't even get there. So here was our 100% move down. 50% pullback would have been back up here to 82. That's what I was looking for, but the fact we only got to 38.2% and have now completely rejected. We've got a really bearish candle. Note the averages are fanning out. We've pulled back into the averages. We've got a big bearish monthly candle. Granted, the month is not finished yet, but we're getting closer to the end of the month now with just over a week left. We've got a very bearish candle. If we break down through that candle next month, so assuming this candle closes the month of October bearish, in November, if we break down through that low, is looking very bearish indeed. It's certainly looking for a test of 74 and probably even beyond 74 if the current monthly chart there closes that way, and if it's anything to go by, it's certainly looking like heading much lower. So there's my view for now. My view for the early part of this week is a move down to 76, maybe a very small bounce, but I'm not expecting much of a bounce. In fact, a preferred trade would be a break through 76 and then a pull back into 76. I think the markets are going lower. Let me show you a couple of examples of the kind of trades I take around these levels. For example, this kind of thing. So these are both long trades I took at 77. In fact, some of these might not have triggered. I took about 3 or 4 different trades. I just picked out a couple of screenshots to show you the types of trades I take. So here's one on a 15-minute chart. I drew on a fib line from a low up to the high, and what we had here was a pivot point clustering with just above 77 with a 50% Fibonacci level and with these old highs. So what I did here was just have an order sitting down here at 77.07 for the pivot point to get long for a little bounce off. Let's have a look at one other just to show you another example. Here was, okay, we've come down, we've gone below 77, we came back up, we're pulling back. In fact, I haven't got a fib on that chart, but that's a 61.8% retracement from this low up to this high, 61.8% into the big number. Notice that we also are starting to form a reversal pattern. So we've been coming down here, we've been making lower highs and lower lows all the way down. What we've now just done is we've put in a higher high, we're pulling back, and I'm looking to pinpoint this point where we get to the higher low, and 77 is that key point where I've been looking for trades all along. 61.8% pullback into 77 as we're making a higher low. Rising indicators all converging to the upside and looking really strong, and then we get this small bullish candle here on the 60-minute chart, break up through the high. I'm buying there with a stop down below this low and just looking for the run up. So there's a couple of examples of trades I took, and if we just come and have a look at what happened here, I just want to show you on a let's have a look at this on a 15-minute chart, and let me remove all other lines from this for the time being just so that we can see 77 clearly. 77 is this line right here, and you can just see that after coming down here and hugging around it, we came back up, we came down and touched it. That's one of the times I bought, was back here. I bought again in here, I touched it again here, and we had some really good bounces of, you know, a good 60, 70, even close to 80 points off 7700. So even though it didn't give us the big bounce and run all the way back to 82, there was lots of opportunities down there, and I took a number of them myself. And what I did there by trading here with a stop down below these lows, it also gave me the opportunity to get long, then to trail my stop behind this low, then behind this low, get my stop up nice and tight so I get into the trade, scale out as we move up to get profit in, then trail my stop to lock profit in even further. And then when it came back and stopped me out, even though I didn't get big winning trades off that, I still got winning trades from taking trades off that key level. I will be looking to do the same thing this week. So I'll be looking, 76, as I said, not as strong, but certainly looking at 76 for probably more likely to trade on the short side, but I'd take any good longs if a really nice long opportunity set up there. But the trade that probably excites me the most could be still a few weeks away yet, but getting long down here around 74 temporarily, looking for bounces off that level, that's likely to provide some really, really good opportunities. Happy trading all. Looking forward to speaking next week. We'll see how these markets have gone and have another update then. Have a wonderful week's trading and speak to you soon.